I've got another question that the government's fixing to get into, and I was actually surprised it's been brought up, and I think that our laws are draconian on this. Um, when is several states have done it, but when is the time that, and this is more of my libertarian side coming out, that we pass a bill that regulates it like alcohol as far as under the influence, passing a bill and taxing it. I mean, I was looking at Colorado when they wrote their bill, and it was like $8 billion of income that was coming in a year. I mean, it said we're arresting people and sending them to prison and funding them to go to prison. So it just seems it's counterproductive. You're not going to stop it, and it seems like it would be better to tax it, regulate it, and make money off of it instead of what we're doing with it now.
Yes, so let me ask you this question. I mean, as a libertarian, I mean, I'm assuming that you want small government as possible. So, I mean, that's what I want. I'm a small government conservative. I have a lot of liberty leanings. In fact, if you look at my legislation, you'll see that recurring theme throughout many of the bills that I carry is freedom and liberty. I'm trying to restore the freedoms and liberties that have been eroded away in the last 100 years here in Alabama. But you know, with the issue of medical marijuana, for instance, well, why do we want to tax it? Like, I'm against more revenue going to the government. The more revenue that goes to the state government, the bigger state government grows.
I don't mean the medical. I mean where we legalize it, like you can go buy a pack of marijuana, something like that. That's what I'm talking about, because I think the tax revenue that you could bring in just off that, because I mean, I don't know what the percentage is, but I know so many people who smoke marijuana that if they can go buy it at the store and pay a $5 pack tax on it, well, that's going to keep more people out of jail. The cost money, and it's going to bring tax revenue in to the state. I just see it as it's something that's going to happen eventually. So why don't we just go ahead and do this now?
So you saw Alabama pass the medical marijuana bill in what I think it was it 2020 or 2021? I don't remember. Either way, we passed the medical marijuana bill, and that's, I think, as far as the legislature was willing to go with it. But again, I don't think the fact that it brings in more tax revenue is a good thing. I think that's a bad thing. That's actually a disincentive for me to vote for anything that brings in more tax revenue. So, for instance, with the medical marijuana bill, we called it medical marijuana. Well, medicine in Alabama is taxed at 4%. So why are we taxing medical marijuana, quote unquote, at 9%? If we're saying it's medical, it should be taxed at 4% like everything else. So I'm not for doing things just because it brings more revenue into the government. Now, you want to make the liberty argument about, well, should people be able to use medical marijuana? Well, as a liberty-leaning Republican, I would say yes. The answer to that question is yes. Whether I personally agree with marijuana or not, the answer to the question is yes. But again, the problem with the bill was in the details, not in the concept.